G'day everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Couch Hunter. I'm the Couch Hunter, and today I'm going to take a look at some of the couches here in this suburban neighborhood. Now don't worry, I've already taken the precautions. I've got some of the couch away, and I'm all set and prepared this time. Unlike the last time when I wasn't really prepared and I got my ass whooped by a pull-out sofa. That was fun. So come with me and join me on another exciting episode of The Couch Hunter. We regret to inform you that The Couch Hunter has been canceled for breaking and entering. This program will now be replaced with the absolutely, completely random podcast. Coming up next. Alrighty, welcome everybody to the absolutely, completely random podcast for Saturday, November 30th, 2019. My name is Andrew Rhodes. I'm going to be your host for the next hour or so, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, as we dive into some of the cool and interesting things that I have found throughout the week, stuff that caught my attention. And what am I going to be talking about this week? Well, believe it or not, I'm going to be talking about the season finale, the upcoming season finale of Death Battle. As All Might, the former hero of heroes, the number one hero, the symbol of peace, takes on Might Guy, the Leaf Village's most brash devil. Yeah. It's going to be fun. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm also going to be talking about the Hunter x Hunter Greed Adventure game ending support coming, believe it or not, January 14th. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Man has spent $1.4 million on a game character, which the buddy of theirs then sold for under $1,000. That's not good. Summer Wars is getting itself a full 4DX 10th anniversary screening in Japan, and by God, it frickin' needs it. And believe it or not, here's something that might really amaze a lot of people. The head cheese, the president of Warner Media's Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, and Boomerang subsidiaries, is stepping down from her position at the end of the year. That's right, Christina Miller is leaving the networks. I can hear a lot of people cheering in the background now. So, yes, this is going to be a fun-filled week. Yay! Oh my God, it's going to be cool. All that, maybe a bonus topic, depending on how time goes. Maybe a bonus topic. I can't guarantee we might have one, but maybe, just maybe. But all that and more this week on the absolutely, completely random podcast. But before we get into that, you know the song and dance. ARHOADS-2012 on eBay. Wide assortment of stuff. I am trying to get more stuff up, but as you know, Night Shift is just kicking my ass right now. So yeah, come check me out on eBay. Come check out the official Web Designer 18 Facebook page. Hey, come check out my Twitter page, @OtakuRhodes. We have a lot of fun all around, right? Come on. Hang with me on Twitter, shoot me some topics and shoot the shit with me a bit on Facebook. Before the Thanos snap might take me out of existence. It's always fun to talk to people before they get out of existence, right? Oh boy. Okay, so this is the standard. How did your week go, Andrew? Yeah, not good actually. This was the week from hell. Pure and simple. This was the week from hell. So, I recorded the Q&A video on Tuesday. Put it up on Thursday as promised. I also recorded a review video for Little Shop of Horrors. The thing's like 1986 version. Doesn't really matter. It's in the 80s. I did a review on that. I have a few other ones that I recorded. I just haven't fixed up yet to put up. I do have a Transformers one where I take a look at the whole of Generation 1, including the 1984 movie. So I haven't even put that up yet, but that one's audio only. The other ones are actual video, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Otherwise, it's been Night Shift has just been kicking my goddamn ass. This was like, I think, week 3. It's not going well. yeah, it's week 3. There's still like a month to go, and it's just kicking my ass. So there is that. All in all, it's been a weird week. Although something really cool did happen to me earlier this week. I finally got another creature, another monster in Puzzles and Dragons that I kind of had my eye on. This is one that a few people that I have friended in the game actually do have, and I try to use it because it's got a pretty cool ability, especially when you evolve it into its ultimate form, where it can reduce your damage. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. How do I get this creature? And I could never find it. Well, I got lucky, and I drew it from the egg machine. So yeah, it's like Ash Phantom something or other. It's a light and fire type. You gotta use a light and fire with it, and it actually can do some pretty good damage. I like it. I'm happy I got it. But December's month of stuff's looking pretty interesting too, I'm not gonna lie. But still, I am pretty happy with how that game's going. Contest of Champions is going pretty good for the most part. SAOIF just did a massive update, and I kind of like it. So there's that. But otherwise, like I said, it's been a dull week other than night shift, night shift, night shift. Yeah. Because I worked really, really, really early this morning at freaking midnight and got done at 5 in the morning. So that was fun. And now I get ready to brace myself for possible snow and ice for the next 2 days. Really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah. So let's just dive into this. We got a lot to talk about. It is going to be one hell of a podcast. It really, really is. Okay, so for those of you that watched the recent Death Battle episode between Deadpool versus The Mask, and pretty much put your money on The Mask because I think at this point we all kind of agree with Wiz and Boomstick. I mean, love him or hate him, I kind of feel sorry for him in the aspect that they have to deal with Deadpool. I agree with him. It was time to find somebody that could possibly take him out, and they did. And then they felt horrible about it, and then they brought him back because of the continuity stone, and I had to just throw my hands up in the air and say to hell with this. But it was the final part of the video that I always like, and my buddy Cap will usually say, oh yeah, here's the upcoming ones, because I don't always watch Death Battle. There's some that I just can't get into. I don't really care about the characters, so I won't watch it. But I was kind of interested in how this one was going to go because I've seen The Mask. I kind of know a bit about The Mask, so I wanted to know what would happen. And I was ecstatically excited about what we have coming up for the season finale of Death Battle. And it's going to be All Might from My Hero Academia taking on Might Guy from Naruto. And I'm just like, holy shit. For the first time ever, it's actually 2 characters that I know stuff about. And I can actually give a really decent pre-fight, kind of guess here on the podcast. I'm really excited about this. I really, really am. I'm loving this. So, for starters, I just recently started getting into My Hero Academia. I'd say like last year, I started looking into it, and I fell in love with it. I'm not going to lie. I have fallen in love with it. I have like 4 or 5 characters that I really admire from Class 1A. Obviously, Midoriya. I mean, come on. Deku is one of the coolest characters in anime history. You have Uraka. Was it Asui? Well, her hero name is Froppy. She's pretty cool. Was it Tokuyami? The one with the dark shadow quirk. That's really cool. I mean, it's a freaking crow. It's a crow that can summon darkness upon itself, and training for their ultimate moves, learn to wear it as a cloak. I think that is cool. I'm sorry. you're like in my top 2 favorites here. It's obvious. I mean, Midoriya is number 1 because I'm always somebody for the underdogs, and you're like close. You're like really a number 2. Then you have it's Asui, I think. Ausi, I believe is how they say it. And I know they just said it in this week's episode, and I just couldn't catch it quick enough to remember it. But I was really ecstatic about this. I'm like, yeah, I got some favorite characters. Because then the last one's kind of open because it kind of fluctuates a bit. But the one character I do like isn't really a student, more like a teacher and former symbol of peace himself. I mean, come on, we have to like the guy. I mean, he's the freaking master in this damn thing. All Might himself. Yeah, All Might, the symbol of peace. What's his name? Toshioni or Toshihiro or something? I don't know. But All Might, basically. Just call him All Might. Yeah, All Might. The one that always goes, and I quote, "I am here!" Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, that guy. The one that if everybody has been following me on Twitter, I've been quoting occasionally for this whole we the YouTubers need to stand together and say we are here, because I'm just like quoting All Might. And there's always a lot of fear behind his smile. All Might is definitely, I think, one of the coolest characters that we have gotten in an anime series, especially one from Funimation, for a damn good long time. And you know, don't get me wrong, they have made some decent stuff, and it's Funimation, right? It's not Viz or anything. I don't think it's. I'm pretty sure it's Funimation that does My Hero Academia. Oh yeah, no, it would have to be because they got some of the cast from Dragon Ball Z in there. Because I'm pretty sure I heard Kyle Hubert's voice. I'm pretty sure the one that does All Might was the same one that did Piccolo, because I got like a real deep Piccolo vibe off of that. And I'm pretty sure it's Kyle Hubert's the one that's doing like Fat Gum. So yeah, either way, I'm happy about it. I love My Hero Academia. I'm really getting into it. Just watched. This is an interesting little sub fact here. I watched episode 7 of season 4 today, and I get this kick out of how you have these superheroes, okay? And I mean like superpowers. All Might was able to punch the sky and make it change the weather. You have heroes that can basically do any power in the world, and they still require a search warrant to actually go into a stronghold of suspected criminals that are pretty much attacking you at this point. And they're rushing in with the cops, and it's like, we have a search warrant to search these premises under the suspicion that you're making illegal weapons. And it's like, you seriously need a search warrant in the era of superheroes with this massively humongous power gap with quirks. You need a freaking, you really needed a search warrant. I just got a kick out of that. I love that. I thought that was the best joke that the entire episode had. And it really needed it, I'm not going to lie. It was really heavy with the suspense and everything else. So that little joke, if you caught it, as far as I'm concerned, that was really welcomed. It was really good. But, so All Might is going to be taking on my guy from Naruto. Now, I actually know a bit about both these characters. Because I was a follower of Naruto for a while. Do I still follow it? Let me put it to you this way. I did a video about how Boruto is pretty much hot garbage, and I'm standing by that claim, especially now with them going back in time to pre-Naruto era. That's where you know, and I think the creators of this realize, okay, we messed up because we have full-on messed up here with people just not giving a crap about our show. Boruto is not the world's greatest. It sucks. Hands down, it is one of the worst anime series ever, and it just gets worse as it goes on. And I think this whole traveling back in time thing was literally just done in order to get them to try to get as many of the older viewers back in, and it's just not panning out the way they hoped, I don't think. But either way, I'm watching it, but I'm not enjoying it. I mean, I'll take watching Fire Force and Dr. Stone and MHA over this any freaking day of the week. But, so, I know a bit about both these characters going into this, which is really cool. So, to make the fight kind of go well, I mean, All Might, first off, has one of the most unique quirks in this show. And I was talking this over with Cap because, like I said, because he usually lets me know, hey, there's the upcoming death battle, people. Because there's times, like I said, I just don't care about who's battling in the death battle for that time. But this time I was just kind of curious if Deadpool was going to get his ass kicked, and he did. Spoiler alert, by the way, he did. He got his ass whooped. Thank you. Thank you! So I was really excited about it. But I'm trying to figure out which versions they're going to take, because are we going pre-series All Might, like before he battled All for One? Are we going in the series All Might prior to season 3 where he battled All for One the second time? Or are we going post All for One battle? Because if we're going for the post All for One battle, and we're going with like the post Fourth Great Ninja War for Naruto, and I really hate to say it this way, but it's basically a cripple fight at that point, because All Might is nothing anymore. He can't sustain his one for all form for a large amount of time, and Might Guy has no, he can't use one of his legs. So it's literally that will be what the fight is, and I don't think they're gonna do that. In all honesty, if they're gonna pick two of the characters, they're probably gonna take them at their prime, or at least when they were in the series and using their powers at the majority of it. So for Might Guy, it would probably be Shippuden. My guess would be the Fourth Great Ninja War, where he actually unlocked all 8 of the gates to try to take on Madara Uchiha. And as for All Might, I'm guessing it's probably going to be from the start of the series up to the second battle with All for One. But this is pretty cool. So both the characters have a unique set of skills and powers at their disposal, but it's going to come down to who's going to be able to use what skills they have. Now, Might Guy knows nothing but taijutsu. He's pretty much just like Rock Lee. He's a taijutsu master. And taijutsu is basically karate. It's hand-to-hand combat. So he's basically going to be fitting his own power against All Might. But now, Might Guy can use the 8 inner gates. He can open up all 8 of them if he has to, and he can unleash a tremendous amount of power. But it does have costs the more he uses it. I know that him and Lee could open up like up to number 5, I think it was, with very little repercussions because of training. But he did open up the 8 inner gate to try to take down Madara Uchiha, and it did not end well. It's how he lost his leg. He still has it on him. It's still physically attached to him, but he can't use it anymore. It's a broken leg. So there is that. But All Might, on the other hand, he was injured by All for One before the series even started. It was like 5 years, I think he said, in the second episode before the series started. All for One damaged him. Basically damaged his respiratory system, destroyed his stomach completely, and he practically could have died. And he continued to be the symbol of peace because the world needed the symbol of peace. They needed All Might to be there. So All Might's powers are basically the All for One quirk. The One for All. The One for All quirk. Thank you. I almost screwed that up. Yeah, All for One is the villain. One for All is the quirk. So, what One for All is the quirk that gets more powerful the more it's passed down. Right now, Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, is the current wielder of the One for All quirk. All Might still has the ability to utilize some of its power, as we've seen in some of the past episodes, where he kind of like sustained the form for like a little bit, but he can't physically fight. Though I think he's trying to retrain his body. Because what was it, like episode 5, I think? He was jogging, and Midnight was a little upset because she was trying to tell him he should take it easy since he's retired now. But I think he's trying to train his body back to get to be able to use it for at least 30 minutes. It almost seems like. So, I don't know. That's just my kind of theory on it. But either way, this is really interesting. So, if we're going to have All Might taking on Might Guy, for starters, All Might is just a pure powerhouse. he took on Nomu, who was literally designed to fight him at full power. Nomu took over 300 blows. Precision blows, mind you. Because Midori even made the comment that All Might wasn't just swinging his punches wildly. Each one of them was targeted. They were precisely targeting a certain spot. So All Might knew what he was doing. So, of course, Midoriya figured that out. And it was just a badass move, I'm not going to lie. So there was that. You have, what is it, basically? You have All Might, All Might's, his other powers. But yeah, it took over 300 blows, and Nomu had the ability of shock absorption, not nullification, as All Might made the comment. So there was a limit to what he could take and what he could absorb. He just didn't nullify it completely. All Might did take on a few villains. We know he took on the Sludge Monster in 2 episodes, episode 1 and 2. He basically blew it away with the shockwave of his Detroit Smash. Or, it was like, what was it, Detroit or Texas Smash? But either way, it was one of his attacks. And that's kind of the drawback, I think, that All Might's going to have. Now, if I had to put which one I'm hedging my bet on here, I'm going to go with All Might, because my guy does have his limitations, like I said. While granted, All Might does have a handicap in the way of, I'm really not at 100% anymore. At the start of the series, he was already at like 50% or worse. It is basically a more or less ass-kicking fight that we're going to have. So, most of All Might's powers, though, are fist-driven. I mean, if you watched any of the battles that All Might does, like, it's all punches with his hands. It's like upper body strength. And he does very little with his legs other than use them to stabilize himself. Like, no kicks, no slams like that. So, if Mike Guy can get underneath him, Mike Guy might have a chance. But there's no guarantee that that's what's going to happen, because keep in mind, All Might can create shock waves. He can basically blow the sky into a totally different weather pattern. Just like that. That's how he defeated the one villain, the sludge villain at the start of the series. He just punched the sky and made it rain. So there is that stuff does happen. He can create massive shock waves that can basically do a tremendous amount of damage. And if you're not careful, it could bring you to your knees. I'm not lying. So that kind of opens up the floodgates of what possibly could happen. This is actually going to be a good fight. This is a good way to end the season. I'm not going to lie. And this is a lot better than their, I want to say, Goku versus Superman battle, because, I mean, granted, the fans are going to be pissed if they screw this one up, because a lot of us still have not gotten over the Green Lantern versus Ben 10 battle. That was still a massive middle finger. And I know that they don't just run one fight and have it be like a lucky blow. It's like probably like 1,000 fights, and we only see like the culmination of one fight. But for their thing as to who wins, it's like out of 1,000 battles or something. So that's fine and all, but at the same time, I just want to stress this. They screwed up the Ben 10 Green Lantern fight. The fans were not happy about it. They know that they screwed up. I'm pretty sure they've admitted it, that they know that they've messed up. If not, you messed up big. I mean, the fans are not happy about it. I ranted about it, and I'm not alone in it. You screwed it up because you could have used feedback. You made Alien X basically be nothing but a watered-down, piss-ass version of itself. It was a pathetic fight, and you know it. So there was that. But either way, I think this fight's going to be pretty cool. So, like I said, I'm hedging my bets on All Might. I can't wait to see the data on both the combatants prior to the fight, the pre-fight data. I am looking forward to this one. I really am. This is sort of like when I first got into Death Battle, I found Iron Man versus Lex Luthor. That was honestly the very first Death Battle I ever watched, and I loved it. It was great. This is going to be pretty interesting, I'm not going to lie. I'm looking forward to this. And it's going to come out, I think they said it's the week before Christmas. Let me check the official good old calendar here. Provided it comes up. Probably not. Okay. We're still in freaking November. Let's go down to December, please. Come on, give me December. Thank you. Yeah, it'd be the 18th. So it's literally the week before Christmas that we're going to get this. That's going to be pretty cool. Because probably this week it'll be either All Might or Might Guy's data that we'll get to see. Then the following competitor on the 11th. And then the 18th, it's showtime. So I'm not going to lie. I'm looking forward to this fight. I really am. This is going to be one hell of a fight. And I really cannot wait to see this one. This is going to be pretty cool. So, if you're looking forward to this, my money's on All Might to win. Because, yes, while granted most of his powers are, fist-based, and if you really sit down and think about it, that is all he's ever done. I've never seen him actually kick. It's all been, upper body strength. If he can create a powerful enough shockwave, if he can upset the ground enough and really throw Mike Guy off his game, he might have a chance. I'm not going to lie. It could go that wonderful direction. I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to be in my seat watching this one as it happens. So come on, All Might. Show them that you're not the retired symbol of peace for nothing. This is going to be pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm looking forward to this one. Alright, so let's dive into good old Bandai Namco. The company that just loves to screw everybody over and not even bat an eye when they do it. I mean, they just do this with such gusto at this point. It amazes me. So, this is a game that I'm pretty sure I talked about in a previous podcast. Hunter x Hunter Greed Adventure, the smartphone game based off of the Hunter x Hunter manga. Well, here's some sad news. The service for the game is ending on January 14th. Yeah. This thing launched in December of 2018 and is going to barely make it a year before it's going to be ceremoniously killed. It's just going to be like a little over a year, and then bam, it's just done. This is starting to become a tremendous annoyance, I want to say. So, the game's free to play with in-game purchases available. Bandai Namco has done this for many of their other games. Digimon Heroes, Digimon Lynx, which I just found out was killed back in July. Digimon Heroes, as so many of you know, was unceremoniously killed not too long after its, second year thing. Because I'd only been playing it for about maybe a few months, and then they're like, oh, yeah, we're ending the game. What? Yeah, it just came out of left field, and I was kind of pissed. But what really annoys me about this is that, first off, Bandai Namco has been doing this way too much with their games. All of a sudden, it's, oh, look, we have a game, but a year later, it's gone. It's starting to become like they're the South Park banker, and it's gone. It's becoming an annoyance here. I can make an assumption that it's probably either A, not making enough money, so they have to ditch it. B, it's not making enough green, so they're having too much problems with it or something else. Or, honestly, it's probably just not making them enough money for them to want to keep doing it. You get, original characters. See, there's a mysterious girl who has some relation to the game master of Greed Island 2, because that's where this kind of takes place. It's after the Greed Island arc, which is my favorite arc, by the way, in all of Hunter x Hunter. My least favorite is the Chimera Ant arc from the 2011 version, which I still have to review at some point, so long as my channel survives the Thanos snap, which will be fun. But yeah, so the game takes place on Greed Island 2, the game that was rebuilt from the original Greed Island to train hunters. And I think what pisses me off is that, first off, I had played one Hunter x Hunter game for my tablet, and it was fun for about 5 hours. And then the fun died real quick. When you could pretty much instantly, mind you, get your rewards and farm the stuff without actually having to dive into the battle thing. Just do the instant achieve. The game starts getting boring real quick. I mean, it was fun, and like I said, for about 5 hours. After that, it was like, oh, I really don't want to do this anymore, but I was still playing it. Then I stopped playing because I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I couldn't take it anymore. But it's annoying now that here's another game created by Bandai Namco that just goes right down the shitter again. I honestly think they need to get their shit together at this point. Find a game, stick to it, and keep it going. You still have SAOIF up yet. Sword Art Online Integral Fracture is still up. In fact, to me, that just recently got a massive update, which is kind of cool. There's a couple events that are going on. You have what the hell is it? Half a dozen of them at this point that are still functioning. Why not create a decent, Hunter x Hunter one? And you can't say, oh, there isn't enough, fans for Hunter x Hunter. That's not the point. Make something that's low grade. Think like SAOIF. They would make another game like that with Hunter x Hunter characters, and basically have it be that they can experience the whole thing, but have it be like each section comes out later on. Like, oh, look, everybody can play this. Then, like, 2 months down the road, they can do this or something like that. And you split the cost of sharing this thing. Don't charge for it, but you split the cost, make, the stuff really easy to get and everything else. But then at the same time, it's like, here, look, you can get this package of bonus, let's say you want to call it Nen coins or something. Or, what the hell? Oh, Jenny. I think it was Jenny. That was the money that they use. Okay, look, it'll cost you this much to get this. Like, you can spend $5 real money to get 5,000 Jenny or something like that. That would make a lot of sense. Make it something, like I said, sort of like what SAOIF is, where you can get, like, Nen abilities from other characters, and you can have your own custom character in there. So, like, you could have Killua's lightning ability, or you could have Gon's Jajenkin. You could have Kurapika's chains. Krollo's ability to take other Nen powers temporarily or something. There's an entire slew of ideas that you could have done for a decent Hunter x Hunter game, and it probably would still be going. But what pisses me off with this is that, well, we're just going to end the service. It's done. And it pisses me off because, first off, you're putting people in a really awkward position to where they don't want to play your games because they're afraid that it's just going to end after a year. It's like, why should I bother downloading this game, putting time and effort into it, when in a year I'm running the risk of it not existing anymore? Or, oh, look, a month and a half down the road, it's gone. Why should I invest the time and effort in this? And it's a very valid question, because if you think about it, all of a sudden it's like, well, yes and no, but the problem is, you could easily say, but they do have a point because they want to keep their stuff fresh, to which I say, bullshit. If you have people playing it, pump an ad or something in it to, pass the time. Throw up some banners that people will see. Subconscious ads do work. Put up like oh, look, there's an ad for McDonald's in a freaking video game. They're going to see the golden arches. It's going to instantly click in their minds, my God, that's McDonald's. And then they're going to think, I could go for a cheeseburger, or I could go for some McNuggets right now. I could go for some fries. And they're going to think, you know what? I think I'll go to McDonald's. And it'll click in their heads. Instead, it's, oh no, we're just going to have in-app purchases, and that's the main issue that we have. Okay, your in-app purchases only go so far. They're halting the in-game items, G-Stones, on December 10th, which is ironic. And January 14th, it's done. So it's like, what the hell? It's barely going to be over a year, just a little over a year, like maybe a couple weeks. That's pathetic. It really freaking is. So I'm saddened by this. I really am. Mostly because it just feels like you don't have much faith in whatever games you're coming out with. It's almost like, oh yeah, this is what we have going. This is what we can do. Oh, but this is what we're going to bring down the road to you. This is what you're going to get. You're not balancing what you want to do with what people are expecting. At this point, it's, oh, this is what we want, but what people are going to expect is, well, I can play this for about a year, then it'll be, the service will shut down, and it's going to become a worthless app. I mean, I didn't know that Digimon Links had ended until recently, because I actually thought about downloading it again. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll re-download this, give it another shot. Then all of a sudden, I'm looking at the reviews, and I'm like, ended? The hell? And I look into it, I'm like, oh my god, they fucking ended the game in July. And I'm thinking to myself, this is Digimon Heroes all over again, because they did the same thing with that shortly after Digimon Links came out. So either you have a new Hunter x Hunter game coming, or you have another game out that you're trying to put more of your staff on, but yet you're hiring. Because let's not forget about this topic I talked about, what was it, like last week, where you're hiring staff members. So, I mean, what the hell here? Either get off your pot or smoke it. One of the two. At this point, I don't know what the hell you're doing. I don't think anybody knows I don't even think you know what the hell you're doing. It's like, well, I just kind of don't know what I want yet. I mean, Hunter x Hunter is great, but we really want to get this robot game out. Okay, but what about the people that were playing this game? Well, they can have fun until the 14th, and we're shutting down the service. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. What games do I actually play on my tablet that are Bandai Namco? SAOIF. That's it. Because Kabam does Contest of Champions, and Gung Ho does Puzzles and Dragons. So yeah, that's about all I do. Webtoons is a comic that I watch, and most of the time I'm on YouTube or surfing Google. So yeah, or surfing the net. That's about it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly thrilled with this. I think this is idiotic, if you want my honest opinion on it, because this feels like you royally just keep screwing people to the wall. Like, you don't care enough anymore to make your games somewhat usable to the point that, oh yeah, no, we're good. Well, it'll work out the way we want it to. It's not working. So, I don't know. But if you're playing Greed Adventure, you got until January 14th to enjoy it. After that, it's no more. Sucks, I know, but that's the way it is. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting topic. Now, I actually heard this on the CU podcast, so I want to give a little shout out to Pat Contry and Ian Ferguson, because I got a kick out of listening to this. This is kind of funny. So, and by the way, I mean funny in a cosmic sort of way. This is like, this would make me literally crap a patio out of my ass. If somebody were to do this to me, I'd be pissed. But a man spent about 1.4 million on a game character, which his buddy then accidentally sold for less than $1,000. Because I've heard varying numbers. One said it was like $643 or $647. One says, the article that I'm reading says $552. I think it all varies upon what the exchange rate is, but either way, this is hilarious. This is just hilarious. So, according to South China Morning Post, a man in China spent an eye-watering $1.4 million on his character in the MMORPG Justice Online game. His buddy then accidentally sold said character for a mere $552. Yeah, how the hell did that happen? I'm just kind of curious. This is pretty cool. The man filed a lawsuit against the game company NetEase and his friend, well, former friend, you could probably say by now. So, first off, how the hell do you spend $1.4 million on a game character? How do you even come to that amount of money that you spent on a game character? I mean, that is like, I am customizing this. I am buying you like the greatest outfit in the world. I'm going to buy you this and that. Oh, look, there's a pretty arm bracelet that'll look so cool on you as you're kicking ass and taking names. I'm going to buy that for you. Oh, it's like $30. Yeah, it's not a problem. No, that instantly to me is a little nuts. I mean, I spent some money once on a Bubble Safari on Facebook. I did, play that for a little bit, and I did like pop in like $5 every now and then to get some extra stuff. But still, $1.4 million. Either you hit a lottery somewhere, or damn, you're that rich. So, the defendant has been loaned the character had been loaned the character, and reportedly tried to sell it back to the man for 388,000 won, or $5,138 as of this article. Instead, it was listed for 3,888 won, or $552 on NetEase's in-game marketplace, and was soon purchased by another unrelated player. Okay, so first off, you were loaned a character that you tried to sell back to the person that loaned it to you? You don't even need to worry about the level of stupidity that you've just pole vaulted over. You've practically welcomed it with open arms. So this is funny. So apparently during the court mediation that followed, the good old defendant here, just trying to weasel out of this as best they could, claimed the shockingly low price was due to a typo induced by exhaustion after a marathon gaming session. With or without this character that you were loaned? I'm just curious here. So apparently, though, this suit was settled by a judge who mediated the proceeding online. Authorities in China are now pointing to this mediation as a way judges can oversee legal disputes remotely. That's kind of cool. No longer have a need to go to a courthouse here. Just go here, and the other person will be here, and we'll just do this via the internet. That's actually probably a lot faster, in a way. That sounds pretty cool. But in the settlement, though, NetEase canceled the sale transaction, and while the plaintiff got his $1.4 million investment back, $1.4 million, I cannot strike that. How the hell do you spend $1.4 million on a character? I mean, goddamn. I mean, I have some free characters in some of my games, but $1.4 million? Holy hell! What the hell? That is huge. That's a gigantic chunk of cheese there. Damn. Well, sadly though, the person had to pay 90,000 won, or $12,789 in damages to the player who bought the pricey character on the cheap. So, let me get this straight. So, the person bought it for, what was it, $3,888, right? Yes, okay. So, 3,888 won, and basically, this person has to pay them 90,000 in damages. So, going from the $552 this article is saying the character sold for, because like I said, I heard multiple different prices for what it sold for, so it's probably based upon whatever the exchange rate is. This person's making a hell of a profit here. But then again, if you have $1.4 million to piss away on a character, I doubt highly that this penalty and damages you have to pay is going to affect you. That's probably like a drop in the bucket for you. I mean, goddamn. I mean, first off, this person's making a whopping $12,288 and $37 profit. Okay? That is how much profit your ass is making right off the bat. This person that bought this character on the cheap, you're basically making over $12,000 in profit for doing absolutely nothing and getting caught between what I'm assuming is a pissing contest and a screw you event between a former buddy that was loaned the character, tries to sell it back to rich friend because you got $1.4 million to piss into a character, and I'm sitting here playing this dank ass computer. Hell no. We're going to do this the hard way. Hey, lend me your character for a couple days. I want to kind of get a feel for the character in this, for the gameplay in this. I can set up my own account. Hey, cool, man. Thanks a lot. Hey, I got this really great character here for sale. I mean, come on. This thing is really cool. Massively powerful. Shit ton of investments in it. Come on, everybody. Come on. Who wants to have a piece of this? And you're trying to sell it back, I'm assuming trying to sell it back to said friend, which first off wouldn't have worked because I guarantee you the buddy probably would have went, hey, wait a minute, this is mine. Son of a bitch, this is my character. What the hell? And probably promptly kicked your ass for it. But still, I find this hilarious that you tried to sell a character back to your buddy that lent it to you, and it ends up getting bought by somebody else on the cheap. And now your buddy is going to be out another 90,000 won after spending a good $1.4 million on getting this character like souped up. I'm assuming like clothes and everything else. That's pretty cool that you're just trying to screw your buddy over here. From what I've seen, and according to Pat and Ian, Justice is like an online martial arts game. I think he said it was. Sounds pretty cool and interesting. My guess is, like I said, it's probably like skills, something like Ian said, but my guess is probably like clothes and outfits that this person probably spent that $1.4 million on, because I do not see you spending $1.4 million on anything near that for any freaking game. That is astronomically stupid. $1.4 million. If I had $1.4 million to spend on something, it sure as hell ain't going to be on a damn video game character. I think if I'd be doing that, I'd be checking myself into the nut house at the same time. Yeah, but either way, I thought this was interesting, and I'm like, yeah, I got to talk about this. This is, well, I mean, I should just call this segment stupid stuff throughout the internet. This is honestly one of the stupidest things I think I've ever seen on the internet lately, and man, is it well worth it. So if you had a good laugh out of this at this poor bastard's expense, hey, it was a $1.4 million joke at this point, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of this. Okay, so if you're a fan of the Summer Wars film, and if you don't know what Summer Wars is, I'll give you a little synopsis here in a minute. But if you're a fan of this wonderful movie, which first off, this thing is a wonderful movie. I actually showed this to my mom. She actually kind of enjoyed it. It's getting a 4DX screenings, 4DX screenings in Japan starting January 17th, celebrating the film's 10th anniversary. So I'm sure by now you want to know, what the hell is the point of this movie? Well, basically, this 11th grader and math genius gets asked by another student and secret crush, apparently, to come with her to her family's home for a summer job. The family is having a birthday party for dear old grandma. And because she told grandma, you can't die before you meet my boyfriend, he gets dragged along. And what's ironic here, okay, this is the really best part of this. I mean, this is the fun part. So, he gets dragged along into this. Chaos kind of ensues when he gets a text message in the middle of the night saying, can you solve this? And being the idiotic genius that he is at this point, attempts to solve the text, getting his character swiped. Now, if you're wondering, okay, this is a social networking thing called Oz. Think of it like if Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter would just basically get in bed together and merge themselves with Google. That's what you would be looking at here. That's pretty much the center point of what Oz is. It's a humongous social media site that's pretty much the bulk of the internet. You can do anything on this. You can pay bills, you can make money, you can play games. It's just impressive. So, he tries solving it, gets his character stolen, and everybody's blaming him for the events that are unfolding. Meanwhile, the dear old family wants his ass arrested. Well, some of them do. Now they found out he's a criminal. The one cousin who's a cop, and one of the worst cops, mind you, that you could ever have. This guy is like one step below a security guard, I think. Basically, this is funny. He arrests him, tries to take him back to the police station, only to be dragged back to the house because, hey, guess what? You can't. They couldn't go. Yeah, they couldn't go anywhere, and they try to solve and take down the virus with the help of the one family member that's basically a closet recluse. He doesn't really want to do anything. He doesn't want to interact with his family. He just plays his game, as he's known as King Cosmo. This is a good movie for a magnitude of reasons, and honestly, it's impressive. We end up finding out, though, that it's because of another family member named Watanabe, or no, was it Watanabe or what? Or what was it? Wakisuke, I think it was. I don't know. But either way, turns out it's the illegitimate son of dear old grandma and her husband. Because, yeah, apparently he had an illegitimate kid, and she decided, oh, no, I'll raise you as my own son. That's fine. I don't have an issue with you. The other family members may hate you, but I'll love you anyway. And that's how it was. Spoiler, though, grandma dies. The family decides they're going to get revenge on the virus that killed her because it was the computer virus from Oz that tracked her down because they're part of this massive clan, the Jidouchi clan. And what they do is they were back in the Momoro Machi era, and what they did is they were basically huge. They were massive, powerful, and then they just flittered everything away. I swear it was like Wakisuke or something. I think it was Watanabe was, I think, one of the other relatives. I think it was Wakisuke was the one that caused this. Took what little money Granny had and went to America to try to get their fortune back by creating this super virus for the government of America to unleash upon the world, just to test the internet, and it didn't work out. They actually ended up fighting it down to the last minute with our not even the one character that was doing most of the fighting in this movie, but good old Natsuki having to take on the virus herself in a game of Hanafuda. That is literally the climactic fight of this entire thing. Was she's taking on this virus that was called Love Machine as in a game of Hanafuda, and she managed to do it. She managed to defeat it because everybody in the world. She was betting her family's avatars. And then it basically became a lot more people started joining in. It's like, okay, we're gonna make this one humongous battle. One final round takes it all. So everybody that still had an account that wasn't taken over by Love Machine was teaming together. It's like, here, use my account, take this thing down. Even the two guardians of the site, which honestly should have been doing more at the time, basically teamed up and gave her a very rare item, improving and upgrading her avatar at the same time. So yeah, she whooped the thing's ass, and then her cousin, King Cosmo, just came in and delivered the final blow so that it couldn't try to alter anything, because it had launched a rocket to try to blow up the family after it tracked them down. So yeah, it was a good movie, I'm not gonna lie. Because it ends up being that good old Kenji here, the math genius, solves the final puzzle to save literally to save all their asses in his head causing like a nosebleed as his brain just like quickly figures everything out and he's typing it in on the computer to, save the day. Which was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. It's one of my favorite movies. And I got some history with this because this was one of the first movies that I tried to watch on Neo Toonami. They did a week of movies prior to their inevitable defeat, and their basically they closed up shop then that Friday. This was going to be a Thursday night movie. Yeah, it was a Thursday night movie. And what ended up happening was that because they were piggybacking off of another site to get the stream, that site went down for maintenance, so they went down. And we got like maybe, I still swear it was like maybe an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes into this thing, give or take, and that was about it. 45, yeah. It was a decent amount into the movie, at least over halfway into it, and then the stream just dies. And I'm like, oh, that's great. What the hell do I do now? Yeah, it wasn't a bad movie. I tracked it down then. I own it. I still do. It's one of my favorite movies. It really is. This is a good movie for everything. And the fact that it is getting special treatment for its 10th anniversary. First off, 10 years. Damn. I didn't even know it was that old yet. The original movie opened in Japan in July of 2009. Funimation released it in North America, so thank you, Funimation. I mean, this is a good movie. If you ever get a chance to just look up clips on YouTube, or if you actually can find the actual movie, I highly recommend watching it. This is really good. But yeah, unfortunately, Grandma doesn't make it. She ends up dying, like I said. The family tries to, this is one of the weird parts of the movie, they try to cancel the birthday party and turn it into a funeral, and you just have the one aunt is kind of like, I'm really sorry, I couldn't get a hold of you to tell you that Mom had died and this is now a funeral and not a birthday party anymore. And they're just kind of looking at her like, thanks a lot for telling us now. But it's like, you just have like this whole massively messed up clan of people. You have the one relative that's like this fisherman. You have one that sells computer stuff. You have one that's really heavy into the freaking baseball. Her one son is pitching in this, I think it was like a high school team that was in the finals. And he didn't even know that Grandma died. Because he's pitching in the final games. They couldn't get a hold of him. And she didn't want to upset him. It's like, Grandma died. It's amazing. But there is a video up on here. I think it's the trailer for it, I think. No, okay, it's the actual... Oh, yeah, well, it's the trailer for what's happening on the 17th, so there is that. I don't have audio on. I muted my volume. It's like a minute and 18 seconds. But, yes, this is really cool. And this is from the same... I'm pretty sure it's from the same person that did The Girl Who Left Through Time. I'm almost sure of it. I'm going to look the person up here quick. I'm almost sure it is. But this is a really cool movie. And like I said, if you do get a chance to see this, I highly recommend seeing it because it is really good. So yeah, you can start... you can see it starting January 17th. 4DX screenings. This is really cool. I mean, it's vibrant. It's colorful. There's really nothing much I can say that... I mean, this thing speaks for itself. The fights are interesting. The battles are cool. The lightheartedness that it has. The comedy. The fact that... Wabi-Ske! That's what the guys... I knew I would figure it out. Wabi-Ske! That's what it was. Wabi-Ske! That's what it was. That's what the uncle's name was that screwed him over. I knew I'd figure it out. But yeah, it's really interesting. Because when Grandma finds out that, oh, well, you're the one that was responsible for this... She basically tries to kick his ass. And she literally takes, oh God, what the hell? I know Cap's gonna know what it is, because I think he has one. She just like takes a spear off the wall, and she's ready to kill him. I mean, she's like flat out ready to kick his freaking ass. No questions asked. She's just ready to kick his ass, and it's like, no, this is how it's gonna go. She's pissed that you managed to screw them over. She's pissed. She's she was pretty much gonna kick his ass. No hands, no doubt, she was gonna kick his ass. He ends up coming back, trying to save the day. It was a satellite, by the way, that they drop on him. It's an interesting movie. Like I said, if you get a chance to watch it, I highly recommend it. You gotta see it if you get a chance to. It is really good. Yeah, let me pull up this guy. I'm pretty sure it was The Girl Who Left Through Time. I'm almost sure, because that's a good movie too. If you ever get it, if you can find it, it's out of print now, I think. But let's see here. We got Summer Wars, blah 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 news. I'm pretty sure. Okay, also did that I Want to Eat Your Pancreas thing too. So that's oh no, it wasn't. Here we go. Film director. Does it have anything down on this guy? Don't make me actually have to Google his ass. Probably gonna have to Google his ass. God damn it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to Google his ass. So that's great. You couldn't have just told me what the movies were for this. I mean, seriously. Oh, yeah, okay, it was The Girl Who Left Through Time. Okay, I was right. It is a damn good movie. But yeah, still impressive. I was pretty sure this was The Girl Who Left Through Time that he did this. But either way, great freaking movie. 10 years, holy hell! I did not know it was that old already. But yeah, if you get a chance to check this out, I highly recommend it. I mean, seriously, this is a good movie. 10th anniversary. Is this gonna get like re-released on DVD or something? I might actually look in if it's gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna have like extra features and stuff in this. I might actually look into getting it and getting rid of my old copy. Maybe not. I mean, I like my copy. I went through hell and back to get my copy, and this was not a cheap movie either to find. You try finding this at like your For Your Entertainment or FYE store, was where I tried. They were going for like $32, like $32, $34, and I was getting kind of pissed. I was like, son of a bitch, I'm not paying that much for a freaking movie. I think at the time, I know Borders wasn't around anymore. Barnes & Noble, I don't remember how much they were claiming they were going to have it for, and I got it off of eBay. I was lucky that I got it off of eBay, and I was content when I got it off of eBay. So I'm like, yeah, I got it off of eBay. I'm happy. It's mine now. I was ecstatic. I was happy. I was glad. I'm like, yep, it's mine. Yes, it's mine now. I own the copy. But if you get a chance to watch this, I recommend it. I'm excited that it's getting some more screenings. More people can see the greatness that this movie had. And honestly, there's not really much else to say. This is a damn good movie. Flat out damn good movie. And I highly recommend it. I really do. Okay, so here's going to be some interesting news that people are going to find quite interesting. So Christina Miller, the president of Warner Media's Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, and Boomerang subsidiaries, has announced that she will be stepping down from her position by the end of the year. With Michael, and I know I'm going to mispronounce your last name, I do apologize, O'Wheeling will serve as interim president, and Miller will be working with him until the end of the year. She served as the president of Warner Media subsidiaries for 5 years. So, this is huge. Tremendously huge. So she was vice president in 2005 of Turner, later Warner Media, is when she joined as vice president in 2005. So they announced, yes, she was vice president of Cartoon Network Enterprises in 2005. So they announced a reorganization, Warner Media did, of their divisions in March that is bringing many of its subsidiaries and brands, including Otter Media, basically the Relation, Crunchyroll, Rooster Teeth, and Verve, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, and Boomerang, into a single global kids and young adults unit. What does this basically mean? I haven't got the damnedest clue. The only thing I could think of is, oh, look, we're going to put all of our eggs in one basket because we don't really trust leaving them out there for everybody to see. The problem with this is that Cartoon Network is a former shell of itself anymore. It's a freaking joke. And it's a joke that just doesn't want to die, basically. It's a joke that just does not age well. It's not giving up. And as much as we'd like to say, oh yeah, no, it's a good show, it's a good network, yet no, Teen Titans Go was a shit show, and it still is. Recently, I found out they got rid of We Bare Bears. They are putting on more Gumball, which, okay, fine. Gumball was an alright show, but for God's sake, it ended. Let stuff that still has a chance be on. Cartoon Network just gave up, like in the mid 2010s, like within this last decade, they just like gave the hell up. It's like, no, screw this, we're done. They just didn't care anymore, and it showed. You could definitely tell that they just didn't care anymore. With how they were running Adult Swim, how they were running most of the stuff that was going on, it's like they really just they didn't care anymore about what they were doing or anything else, and it showed. If you watched Adventure Time, regular show, you could see the stuff that they were doing. It was obvious that, no, we know what we're doing, but we don't know what we're doing. It was sort of like the double-edged sword, if you will. Oh yeah, no, we're confident we know what we're doing, but we don't know what we're doing. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. To each their own, I understand that. But still, I find it a little more... What's the word I'm looking for here? Idiotic? Dumb and stupid, I guess you could say. So yeah, of course, it just doesn't help things along. I just want to say, because you have the whole, oh, look, this and that are changing. Everybody's going to this now. A lot of... I really don't... I mean, I'm trying not to sound like an insensitive asshole or anything here, but truth of the matter is, I'm with a tremendous amount of people when I say that once she took over as the president of Cartoon Network, the network went downhill fast. And I mean no disrespect, because in all honesty, the writing was starting to come on the wall, and there was plenty of times you could have seen that the ship needed to be righted. When you when you added Teen Titans Go, first off was mistake number one, because no one liked it. And then it's like you're just doubling down with the movie, and it's like, oh, no. If you watch the movie, you'll get season 6 of the original series. You were just pissing more and more people off. The fact that Warner Media, though, is announcing a reorganization either means that they were just cleaning house themselves and she knew that her job was on the line, which, I mean, like I said, I don't want to sound like an insensitive asshole. I really don't. But in all honesty, it's, it is what it is. I mean, Cartoon Network is literally a shell of its former self. It's no longer what it used to be. Majority of the stuff that made it unique, it doesn't have anymore. Their biggest massive thing that I think was really good was the whole CN City, which then they just completely obliterated because, no, we're getting rid of a lot of those shows, and that was the end of it. Majority of, I think, Boomerang's now mostly garbage from what people were telling me. Adult Swim, you all know my thoughts on Adult Swim, with the exception of Toonami, and, well, Toonami and Rick and Morty are about the only two good things Adult Swim has, to be honest with you. But Adult Swim is basically nothing but stoner programming, as far as I can tell, and as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, I mean, you know where I stand on that. But still, this is just one of those massive things that gives you more hope than it should. Like I said, I don't mean any disrespect or anything, but whoever's going to be in charge can't do a worse job and could probably pull the network out of its slump. I mean, when you're getting your ass kicked by Nickelodeon and you're basically mimicking their own style with your own shows. I mean, when Cartoon Network started doing their 15-minute episodes for a show, all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, you basically got all-day marathons of a regular show or Adventure Time, which was fine because those weren't that bad of shows in the early seasons, and the stories did pick up more later on. But then, when it basically became nothing but Teen Titans Go, or what was that other crappy show it was on? Scaredy Squirrel, which made no damn sense. stuff just started going downhill rapidly. And I mean just completely rapidly, it just started going downhill. I stopped having cable like in February of 2015, I think it was. Yeah, that sounds about right. 2015, February 2015, I stopped having cable. So, yeah, it makes sense that, look, stuff isn't going to pan out. But the thing is, though, is that it didn't get better. The stuff kind of started making more of a spiral downturn, more of a, look how low we're sinking. I mean, with Teen Titans Go, you first off, you had a chance to right the ship here. But you just decided, screw it, we're just gonna, keep going here. And that's not exactly a good thing. Cartoon Network could have bounced itself back from what it was, but you had some diamonds in the rough, and then just gave up. To me, is what it felt like. So, like I said, I mean no disrespect. Either she figured, okay, look, my job's in jeopardy here. They're reorganizing everything. They're going to want to bring in their own people, which technically they could. Because they got acquired, what was it, by AT&T, I think it was? They could easily look at this and go, look, we're just going to bring in our own people. Why should we have, you here in charge of this when we have this one over here that's, could probably work cheaper? It is what it is. Like I said, I don't want to sound like an insensitive asshole, but it is what it is. You can only take your fun and adventure for so far before you're going to start feeling the massive screw you that the fans have towards it. And that's what it is. I mean, it is what it is. Still, I don't know what else to really say here. I mean, keep in mind, like I said, my feelings for this are I don't want to sound like an asshole, but at the same time, I'm glad we're getting a change in, the leadership. The person that's taking over actually was a showrunner, I think they were saying on Twitter. So he'll at least have an idea here in a way of like ways to do stuff. And before somebody goes, oh, you're just being like a sexist person or something. No, I'm being the network went downhill. It didn't matter who was in charge. I'd blame whoever was in charge. If it would have been Joe Schmo in charge, I would be blaming Joe Schmo, and then if Joe Schmo leaves, whoever's taking over, I'm going to go, look, they have a chance to make it better. It doesn't, I'm not looking at this as, oh, well, it's a woman, that's why you're blaming. No. I'm blaming the fact that the network went downhill, and we're finally getting some, a new president in to try to fix this. This is like the look. We now have a chance to kind of correct what people have been complaining about our network. Let's get rid of some of this stuff that isn't working or that we're looking at, well, people love this. No, they don't. First off, you could easily figure this out by looking at the ratings. And if they're going to go, okay, well, this is a hit between this group and this group, but our target demographic is this, we're not hitting that. This thing is done. And you can easily tell that. Stuff like that is what the new person going in should be looking at and going, okay, this makes a lot more sense. We need to get rid of this, this, and this, and replace it with this. Or we need to start cutting back on this and stop doubling down on it. Because it's like Nickelodeon with SpongeBob, because now we're getting that, what is it, a freaking Squidward musical spinoff on top of Camp Coral. You still have SpongeBob, which won't fucking end, and everything else. It's just a matter of time before that avenue burns up for Nickelodeon and there's nothing left. For Cartoon Network, it's basically, what do they have left? They got rid of We Bare Bears. They got Steven Universe is coming back for Steven Universe Future, but it's a limited run engagement because, of course, they're not going to want to push the money into this thing for the off chance of, well, it's only going to be on for like maybe a year. Screw you guys, we're going home. So there is that. But it's really like half a year, I think. But either way. So, you have those whole issues going into this. So either this is all just like a long string of stuff that's happening that we just weren't entirely seeing the whole picture of, or it's just okay, I feel like my job's on the line here. I'm just going to bail out now while I, can hang my head high that I did well in my own opinion. Whereas a majority of the fans are going to be going, no, you kind of didn't. And like I said, I would be saying this of anyone that be leaving this position. Because honestly, it wasn't a good job that they did. They sucked at it, and it was proven that they sucked at it, because otherwise you wouldn't have had the problems that you had with this series. You had the issues that involved the whole, oh, look, it's this problem, or oh, look, this thing's to blame. And that's what a majority of it was. You had Adventure Time's really half-assed fourth season, which felt that was completely stupid. That was like somebody looked at a science fiction show and was like, "Hey, what can we rip off of this for the fourth season?" And before somebody goes, "Well, you can't blame a network for that." Yeah, you can. That's the whole point, is because you can blame the networks for a majority of this. They're the ones that sign off on it because it's their money that's on the line for this. If it's something that they think's going to be viable, that's going to make them money, they're going to say, yeah, roll with it. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Roll that shit. Let's do this. But if they look at it and say, no, wait a minute, that seems kind of stupid. That might turn off some people. Let's take this back to the drawing board here again, and let's try again here to try to get a little better of an idea. You're always going to have that. But still, it just doesn't pan out the way you think it would. Like I said, Adventure Time was really, the last season was, personally in my opinion, stupid. You have the finale of Gumball, which pissed off a lot of people. Teen Titans Go. That's just a few. You have Uncle Grandpa, which annoyed the living shit out of me on a freaking daily basis. What was that other show? Clarence, I kind of couldn't get behind. That one felt a little too weird for me. What else did they have? See, I don't even know what Cartoon Network has anymore. But then you also have, what was it, Verve, which isn't a bad, it's a streaming service. I've heard of it. It's not bad from what I've heard, but still. But yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff does pan out in a good way and a bad way, but it's mostly the, well, let's see what we can do here to see what happens before all hell breaks loose. But as I said, I would be complaining about whoever would be leaving this position, regardless of who they are or anything else, because truthfully, Cartoon Network went downhill. You can easily see when it went downhill and figure out from the process of how it went downhill. You just throw the blame at somebody and you know who it's going to be. That's all there is to it. And for me, yeah, I'm not alone. I know a lot of other people blame her too. But, it's just one of those things that comes. You can't please everyone. There might be some people that'll go, no, she did a wonderful job. And you're always going to have the other side of the coin that says, no, she didn't. She did not do a great job at this show. She did not do a great job on this network. She did not do a great job, with this or that. You're always going to have those people that will do that. It's just a matter of who they are, what they're going to say. But, yeah, that's basically all I got to say on this. I mean, it is what it is. She's leaving at the end of the year. 2020 is starting up a whole new decade. A lot of things are going to be changing. So it's just mostly a matter of let's see what... I mean, this is basically the let's throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, basically, type of year we're coming up to. Because you have the whole YouTube thing. You have a lot of networks that are going streaming services. You have HBO Max. What is it? You got like all the streaming services that are out now that are having new stuff that's coming out next year. It's basically the year of let's throw shit to the wall and see what sticks, and then go from there. And that's basically, I think, what Cartoon Network's going to do. I think they've realized, okay, we kind of need to change some stuff up here. It's the way it is, and yeah, that's really all there is to it, at least as far as I can see. I mean, it's not much, but that's what I have to say. It really is. Alrighty, everybody, and that's going to pretty much do it this week for the absolutely, completely random podcast. But wait, I hear you saying out there in YouTube land, you said we might get a bonus topic. Yes, I know I did, and unfortunately, I'm out of time myself to talk about it, but that doesn't mean I can't put the link to the bonus topic in the description. So check it out down in the description below for what the link is to the bonus topic of the week. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with Kyoto animation. Yes, you'll be able to find it. It'll say bonus topic of the week, by the way. But either way, there is that. But until next time, this has been the absolutely, completely random podcast. And don't forget, if you have a topic that you'd like me to talk about, feel free to send it to one of the 3 spots you can. The Web Designer 18 Facebook page, my Twitter page at Otaku Roads, or right here on the Web Designer 18 YouTube page in the discussion section. Keep in mind, I'm hoping I survive the December 10th Thanos snap. If I do, Q&A video will come out on Christmas. It's Christmas Day, mind you, so please have all of your questions in by 12 a.m. Christmas Eve. That's right, I'm giving you plenty of time to get your questions in. Now, I hear you saying, but what happens if you don't survive the Thanos snap? We won't know your answer. Well, if you follow me on Twitter, or you follow the Web Designer, or you follow and like the Web Designer 18 Facebook page, if I don't survive the Thanos snap, I'll answer your questions on there. I will make that a promise. I swear to it. So keep that in mind, and until we meet again, until next week, well, bye-bye, so long, sayonara, and this is Andrew Rhodes signing off. Good night, everybody, and have a wonderful week.